What's up, y'all? My name is Ryan Shepard. You're listening to the Put It in the Group Chat podcast, the place where we bring our podcast to our group chat, not the other way around. And today is Friday. Let me get the date correct. October 22nd. It's 4:41 p.m. Central Time. Y'all know the drill. We're not responsible for stuff that happens after the show. Really not responsible for stuff that happens while we're recording. And to truth be honest, we're not responsible for everything that happens before we start recording. So you get what you get. But I'm here with my two co-hosts, James and Gerald. How are y'all doing today?
Oh yeah, somebody's doing better. That somebody made it on that list, huh, Ryan?
It's Reggie Miller.
Oh my goodness.
I want to feel happy for you, but I also feel like putting Reggie was the gateway to Dame. So I also am mad at you at the same time. So it's 50-50 right now.
Yeah, that was like, oh man, shoot, we can't leave Dame off if we put Reggie on. That's what happened. But I'm doing good. Chiefs this weekend, I guess I should be happy for the NBA 75. That didn't make me forget all about this Chiefs season. I got to get back to it on Sunday, but shoot, this is the last 3 days I've been basketball heavy. So.
Well, it's been good for me. Watching the first Celtics game and having two separate heart attacks for each overtime was great. But yeah, other than that, I've been straight.
So, I mean, we mentioned it. The top 75 list is out. So that's going to be the focus of our show today with a little bit of football. So as we do with every show, we get started with a quick mini game to get our voices warmed up, get our minds going, get everything moving. And today we have a game of multiple choice. I'm going to read a tweet. I'm going to give you 4 options and you can pick. This is multiple choice. This is like the SAT. This is like your test where you get all the multiple choice, no open-ended. So we'll start here. The tweet reads, I'm a huge Dame Lillard fan, but there's no argument for him making the top NBA 75 at this stage in his career. Not over Dwight Howard, T-Mac, Bernard King, or Manny Ginobili. Klay Thompson may actually have a better argument, though I wouldn't die on that hill. Your options are Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, Al Sharpton, Mark Lamont Hill, or Don Lemon.
What?
Those are your 4 options.
It's probably Eric Dyson, Dr. Eric Dyson, because he's a basketball fanatic, isn't he?
See, I kind of want to go with Don Lemon because he sounded real apologetic for that. And I know I'm gonna go with Don.
The answer is Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, excuse me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, he not wrong, but he not right. Like, people say in this stage of his career, like, I mean, he been playing for 10 years. Either we know about Dame Lillard or we don't at this point.
Next up, we got another tweet. Biggest NBA 75th anniversary snubs. Gold, Dwight Howard. Silver, Sidney Moncrief. Bronze, Bernard King. I'd have taken off Reggie Miller, Robert Parrish, and Ray Allen. Your options are Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, or Nick Wright.
That's got to be Nick Wright. Like, because, I don't want to say nothing disrespectful, but like, I feel like the Sidney Moncrief thing is kind of, I feel like that's recency bias because the Bucks won the title. So like, people were like, oh, yeah. People been diving into Bucks stuff. But ain't no way. Sidney Moncrief. But go ahead.
I want to go Nick Wright because I remember he had some segment where it was like gold, silver, and like bronze during the NBA season. But does he get
1 for 2? It is Nick Wright.
Okay.
Why Sidney Moncrief though? Like I think he should have been on the list, but like not over Parrish or Ray Allen. Like Ray Allen got 2 rings. But anyway, go ahead.
We got a third and final one. We got Vince Carter and Dwight Howard had 8-year runs of absolute greatness. People forget how great they are. Dwight should be on over Dennis Rodman, and at this point, Dwight over AD all day. Your options are Kendrick Perkins, Jalen Rose, Chris Bouchard, or again, Nick Wright.
It's not Nick Wright because AD a Laker. AD played with LeBron. So probably Chris Broussard.
I remember Broussard saying something similar to that. I'm gonna go Chris.
It is Chris Broussard.
AD. Ooh.
I low-key forgot Rodman was on that list until you said so.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess.
Like I get Dwight Howard's resume at this point is better than Dwight Howard's resume. With that said, I'm not taking Dwight Howard over AD. Like I'm just not doing
like what like Anthony that's the thing though. Like Anthony Davis and Dwight Howard, that's a thing about like GM building and stuff like that. Like the Magic organization was probably a little bit better at that than like the Pelicans.
I was hoping they rank it. I want to see if they rank. I would just like imagine what Charles Barkley's reaction was. All this years calling him street clothes. Still top 75 player.
Probably better than Charles. Nah, I can't say that. Maybe better than Charles Barkley.
If you say that when he's on the court.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
He got more rings than Charles Barkley.
That is also true.
Yeah.
But yeah, that brings us to our top 75 list. We have a complete list of players. What we found out, I guess, we got some also clarity to what our list was. So it is confirmed that all of these voters, they started from scratch. So they didn't have to vote for the top 50, add 25 to the top 50. They started from scratch and the top 50 just made it in. I know we've been giving David Bush a hard time, but I'm going to continue to give David Bush a hard time. I don't know how David Bush is continuing to be in this list. I don't understand this. But nevertheless, we have 75 players on the list. Are there any players that we've heard from 3 different people about Dwight Howard, Sidney Moncrief, Bernard King? Are there any players that you are like, I can't imagine this person is not on the list? Not in comparison to somebody else, but just on their own merit. They should be on this list, regardless of who else is on the list.
I mean, I guess I'll start with because I know it was kind of a toss away line about like the Klay Thompson thing. And I'm not going to die on the hill of saying like Klay Thompson's a better player. But I think when Dennis Rodman is there, you acknowledge like he probably isn't if we're like ranking him, but we know what he brought to the team and how influential he was. Like how good Klay was for that team as being like possibly one of the best third options we've ever seen, his ability to shoot the ball. And then he has records on top of the resume, all NBAs, all-star, and all defensive teams. I'm not saying he should have been on the list, but I could have understood if he did make it, if that makes sense.
So, I'm gonna play devil's advocate on that. There were too many guys that didn't make that list for like Klay Thompson to have made that list. I get the playoff moments, I get all that, but it's like he wasn't like even with all NBA third team being a thing, he's only made 2 all NBAs. So I don't know. I don't know about Klay Thompson, but I would say Alex English just because like he's like top 15 all time like scoring. But I understand if he didn't make the list, like you only got 3 all NBAs, and then like Dantley wasn't on the list either. So you know, I guess you got to do more than score. I would say, but I don't know. It's really tough when you putting the ball in the basket like that, though. But you know, so I don't know. That's and if you know if you're gonna have a nugget on there, it's probably gonna be Melo. So you know, so I get it. I get it where Alex English went on there. So
I guess for me, the person that comes to mind was mentioned is Dwight Howard. Like Dwight Howard's resume is just 8 all NBAs, led the league in blocks twice, led the league in rebounds 5 times, has a ring, 8 All-Stars, 3 defensive players of the year. Like, I don't know how he's not on the list. Regardless of who I think shouldn't have been on the list, he should be on the list. Like, that should not be it's not really a question for me. It's just a question of, or it's not really a question either. It's just a reality that we're voting on this with people. People have emotions and people have experiences either being around or covering Dwight Howard that were not pleasant. And he's not the most likable person. And that's part of life. Like, that's just part of life. Like, you may not get certain opportunities in the workplace because you are not likable. Like, that's just real. Like, that's just part of life. Is it fair? No. Is it right? No, but it's reality. And whether he's that person now, it doesn't appear to be that way because it doesn't appear that we've heard that many issues about Dwight Howard in like the last 5 to 6 years. But it doesn't change the fact that those years happened. And that's a lot of the people that he pissed off are now in the media or now just around the league. So yeah, it comes off as he didn't get in because people just didn't like him, or they don't think of his resume in the way that it really is.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. He held it down for the center position at a time when nobody did, though.
Right.
Like, he was the bridge. I don't think people understand that. Like, in terms of great centers, like, he was the bridge until the center position, like, made a comeback. Because it was, like, him and Brook Lopez that were, like, you know, for all-NBA centers and stuff like that. And, I mean, we understand. I mean, there's a gap between him and Brook Lopez. But I just – people don't understand the, like, historic – thing of like Dwight Howard. And I understand like he may not go down as like an all-time great or anything like that, but he's definitely like a 75. Yeah, so
yeah. I also think part of it might be, and I forgot who mentioned it, but they were mentioning it on First Things First. We were talking earlier before this list came out about would there be any media bias when it came to like the older players who they might have never seen or maybe they don't know in their totality. I think you kind of saw a little bit of media bias when it came to like the aging players that were really good early in the career, but we kind of saw like the tail end of it. Cause like Dwight's kind of the pivotal of that, where it's like for a really 8-9 year stretch, he was like the big, but like we see him in the league now and he's like, okay, he's a guy coming off the bench. He's a spark plug, X, Y, and Z. And he kind of didn't get the vote. And it's the same thing with like some of the other borderlines, like Vince Carter was like that later in his career. He wasn't what he used to be. Tracy McGrady was in that same vein. Obviously, they're not as decorated as Dwight, but I do think that may have contributed to why he didn't get the vote in the end.
I hate that because people don't understand how long 8-9 years is in a professional career. Like, if you play for 10 years, like we talked about, what was that? Mark Lamont Hill that said that about Dame Lillard.
Yeah.
Dame Lillard's been playing for 10 years. We're in year 10 to Dame. Like, that's a long time. When the average career is like 3 years. So that's crazy. Like, I'm not saying that on like Gerald's part, but I'm just saying that's crazy like how people think of that. It's like, well, he had a good 8-9 years, but after that, it's like, how long you want him to play? Like what, what are we talking about? Like, he was dominant for a decade, but I don't know if that's enough. Like, what? But they'll be the first to tell you, especially like, I hate to be like this, but especially white media members, they'd be the first to tell you, well, Bill Walton was off that 86 Celtics team. But it's like Dwight Howard wasn't good enough for 10 years. Like,
I don't.
Like, if we think about this in terms of like how athletes do in terms of contracts, right? So first contract, Dwight Howard, he's definitely like All NBA, stuff like that. He gets there. Once he gets to the second contract, he's elite level. He's on the redeem team, stuff like that. And then his third contract with the Lakers and was that Rockets, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's still like the best center in the game. He's a walking like 16 and 12 or whatever at that point.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't work out with James Harden, and then he has a season with Washington or whatever where he was like 14 and 15. Or was that the Hornets or whatever? Whatever. He was like 14 and 15. Yeah, he didn't have the impact he used to have, but yeah, I mean, he was still 14 boards a game. So I don't know. I just don't see how you oh, okay, we can do, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but like how you can do like Paul Pierce and stuff like that and be like, nah, Dwight, nah, I don't know about that. But that's just me.
I mean, I actually agree with you, but I also not understand it, but I think that's part of the reason that kind of hurt him and guys like Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. Because like Vince just retired, last year after the COVID incident, and Dwight's still going in the league today. Like, we know what Shaq was by the end of his career. Point blank period. But we can still remember that because we've had time to breathe from his career. Like, he retired a decent amount of time ago. So we don't really think about the end of Shaq. Same with a guy like Paul Pierce. Like, it's been a good 3 or 4 years since he retired. So we don't really think about the Wizard Paul Pierce or Clipper Paul Pierce. I think if this list came out and either Dwight retired or if it came out like after he was still on the Rockets, he probably still makes a list. But I think unfortunately because we have the bias of Laker Dwight and there are going to be some who do see Laker Dwight, he's probably going to miss it in favor of guys like Dame Lillard who are still at their peak at the moment.
But the reason I don't like that is Dwight Howard, even after it's all said and done, Dwight Howard's still a champion on that Lakers squad. So, and then but what's your argument about we have these conversations all the time. What's your argument, Gerald, about Robert Parrish? Well, he played for 20 years. Well, Bulls Robert Parrish, what's that? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying I agree with that logic, but I'm just saying I can understand how Dwight got left off. I don't agree with Dwight being left off. I understand how he got left off.
Like, Boston Robert Parrish, yeah. Well, we don't want to get into that, but
keep getting them
Boston Robert Parrish is to begin with, but Bulls Robert Parrish, I don't know. But yeah.
So I guess we can move. So I guess the part that seems to get people riled up is if someone's going on the list, that means someone has to come off the list. So I guess we can break it down into two groups. As I mentioned earlier, they brought back the original 50 and added 25. So I guess we can break it up. Is there anybody in the top 50? We've broached this conversation before. Is there anyone that was in the original 50 that should no longer be in the top 75?
Let me go. Let me go real quick. I think you should do it in like who was on the original 50 that shouldn't have been there in the first place? Because like you can't be like, well, Russell Westbrook would take the Bushers' money. Like, obviously that'll happen, but like, you know, the Busher probably should have been there in the first place, right? Walt Clyde should have probably been there in the first place. Bill Walton should not have been there in the first place. That's just what it was. Like, he's a Hall of Famer. If you want to give him that between that and the UCLA stuff, okay, fine.
And he has an MVP.
Come on, man.
I mean, we mentioned this when we were talking about Jokic and we were mentioning people. There's only so many MVPs in the league, and through 50
why
years,
ain't Derrick Rose on the list?
No, I mentioned it through the first 50 years. I understand why he was on it first 50.
I don't.
Okay.
I just don't. Because like with that logic, Derrick Rose should have been on the last 25. I think it's unfortunate that Bill Walton wouldn't be on the 50, but I also think he shouldn't have been on the 50. But I mean, if that's my only thing, like that, and maybe I don't know. That's all I can really say. Like, you know, I think Willis Reed is probably on there firmly with this MVP.
And also, he got a ring.
He got two. He got two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's on. Yeah, whatever. It wasn't like Bill Bradley was on there though.
That's true.
I guess. I mean, we've had this conversation off camera. I'm assuming Nate Thurman is someone that you had to be there to see.
He's someone I don't. Oh well, he's deceased now, but I wouldn't have want a problem with him.
I don't want problems with his ghost, but
yeah, I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't have want problems with him at all.
The man had a receding hairline at like 25. I don't want any issues with him. But the point still remains. I haven't gone through the entire list of 75. I don't know anyone else that doesn't have any All-NBAs. Not one.
Okay. I feel you. We went through this on the thing. I understand how he doesn't have any All-NBAs because there's no third team.
I understand.
Russell Chamberlain. And then Willis Reed had an MVP season, so that automatically puts you on NBA first team. So, yeah. And then, you know, Kareem. He just wasn't going to get on there. But, I mean, I understand. Maybe that makes sure he's not on. His resume kind of light. You're right. His resume kind of light.
His resume is kind of light. That's all I'm saying. The resume. That's what I'm saying. You had to be there to see it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you gotta understand. Like, when did he play? Like, he played with Russell and Chamberlain, and then like the random. I hate no disrespect, but the random MVPs of the 70s. Because you gotta remember. Willis Reed had an MVP season. Dave Cowens had an MVP season. If you win MVP, you get All NBA first team, right? That's just how it works.
Right.
So Cowens had an MVP. Wes Unseld had an MVP. Because when did Nate Thurman retire? 76?
It was late 70s, I think.
Late 70s, right? So, right. I mean, but Nate Thurman has his number retired by 2 franchises. So, I don't know. You know, the Cavs and the Warriors. So, I don't know.
You asking the wrong person why his numbers retired by the Cavs.
Oh, yeah.
You want me to see the numbers for the Cavs? He played 2 seasons for the Cavs. In the first season, he averaged 4.6 points and 5.3 assists and 3.7 rebounds. In the second season, he averaged 5.5 points, 1.7 assists, and 7.6 rebounds.
Was one of those seasons? Hold on. Talking about was one of those seasons 76 though?
Yes.
Okay, that's why. What is it called? What is that called? Where they won that playoff series in 76. I'm not a Cleveland like sports buff, so I can't. Was it? Let me look that up.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but all of that team is retired. Team 76.
Oh, so we just giving out. We giving out.
1976.
You didn't know they were giving out retired jerseys in Cleveland when the Gauskas got retired? Like that's like I don't know. I don't know what you expected from Cleveland. Before that championship, they ain't have a lot, man.
You tell me they got a guy's name Bingo Smith. He was his name retired. Butch Beard. All those, I'm just gonna leave it at. I'm okay. Too young. I'm too young. That's what I'm assuming. I'm too young. I don't want no problems with the Thurman family. I'm just gonna assume.
So they beat the Bullets that year, and it was called the Miracle in Richfield. That's why he's retired. That's why. I'm just giving you. That's what.
I'm not arguing with you.
Hey, that's just why he's retired. That was their first what's it called? That was their first. They had only been in the league 6 years, and that was their first playoff win.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Miracle Richfield, and they didn't win again until like Mark Price. So yeah. So, but I mean that's the only logic I can give you of why he's.
That's the main person there. Everybody else. I may not think that they're that great, but their resumes pick.
On the 50?
Everybody's like resume, I get.
Everybody's resume, huh? Everybody's resume, huh?
Yes, okay. Everybody's resume, I get it.
Ryan capping out here for this Mr. Potato Head. They called him on the 30.
Hey, first of all, the 90s were a different time. Okay, and he was building his name, and he still had a few good years after that.
How he not make you know who we talking about, Reggie. How he not make the 50 but make the 75?
Media.
Because he's in the media.
Hey, it is what it is.
Now, who saw 96 Reggie to 04 Reggie and was like, oh, yeah, he got better? Like, what? I'm sorry, man. Okay, I'll let it.
But like I said, I get pretty much everybody else's resume to that point. Like,
yeah. Should Kyrie have been on y'all? Man, that's tough, ain't it? Let's see.
To be honest, like before this year, I probably would have shot it down, but the 50, 40, 90 makes it really interesting. It makes it really interesting.
Bro. Let me look at this real quick. Cause what are we looking at, man? Kyrie, man. Bro, like dog.
And that's why I think the majority of this comes just down to resume, because we can't compare, like you said, if Bob Cousy was guarding Kyrie Irving, Bob Cousy would get cooked. But there are certain things that have kind of held up to the test of time, like accolades and things of that nature.
Well, he only got 3 All-NBAs, though.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, man. It's tough because Jason Kidd, like, I think Jason Kidd's a better basketball player, but like, Kyrie, man. Like, they're 26 off of 50, 40, 90. Like, who else is doing that? What is that? Bird and Durant?
Yeah.
Who else is doing that? Because, like, Nash is 50, 40, 90. Oh, no, Curry too.
Yeah,
Curry, yeah.
But Nash's 50, 40, 90 was like, 14 points. And then so was like Mark Price's. So it was like, what do we, but oh well.
Also, my biggest takeaway from this list is it's just a lot of, I guess it's just a lot of reading and learning, because I don't know who Dolph Chase is. I don't know who Bill Sharman is. I know what they did. I don't know who those people are.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So, but they get on the list. I just think we're going to get to a point where we're going to have to make two separate lists, because the league is too different from where it was in the 50s and the 60s.
That's true.
It's way too different for me to start comparing what Paul Zirin did and what Kevin Garnett. I can't. What am I supposed to do with that?
No, you're right. Well, I feel like if football can do it, then basketball can definitely do it. Because we're looking at 100 years next time. So
yeah.
Yeah, I just think with it, like, we see this in college basketball, right? Like, college basketball wasn't integrated until like the 80s. And that was barely, like, we still had like squads where they were having like 4 or 5 white dudes on the starting team. So, NBA wasn't integrated, like, had to be integrated just because it's professional, but like, you want to get the best players, but Paul Zirin or whatever didn't play against black people. He didn't. So Bill Russell didn't play against black people, to be honest. He had all the black people on his squad. That's why they won.
I'm gonna move past that.
Yeah, as I was saying, there's just a lot of big learning that we can do as people about the past, and respect it, and just understand Bakuzi was getting cooked out here. Jerry West would have got cooked out here. Okay, it's evolution.
Let's not play. Let's not stop with Jerry West. Some of them 90s cats will get cooked out here too. But we're not gonna go there.
To play basketball. All of them did not get in the league to play basketball.
That's true. I'm talking about some of the stars would get a couple hezzies, okay?
I know, I'm talking about dude. Shout out Patrick Ewing.
Now, we didn't have to name names, but you didn't have to say it. You're not wrong, but
Patrick Ewing wanted to get out. Patrick Ewing wanted to get out of Cambridge. That's what Patrick Ewing wanted to do.
Thing about Patrick Ewing is he would have got dunked on for real, because he go for everything.
All right.
Oof. Man, there's some cats on here though.
Earl still hanging in there.
You know who really hanging in there, bro?
Who?
Kevin McHale, bro.
Well, okay.
Well, you gotta get, bro. Okay, all right.
Nah, man. I can name like 10 power forwards better than Kevin McHale right now.
Name him. Let's name him.
No.
Nah, 10 power forwards better than Kevin McHale. Okay. Duncan, Malone, Garnett, Dirt, Anthony Davis. Was that 5? Charles Barkley. Did I say Garnett?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Weber is probably better than Kevin McHale, low-key. Did Moses Malone play power forward at one point? Probably. Okay. Giannis is better than him. I'm up to 8.
Bro,
Yeah,
I
because
don't.
you had to add in someone that don't really play power forward.
Yep.
Nah,
Ever since
Moses
we,
Malone play power forward.
That was not his primary position.
Okay, all right, take him off. Giannis. Who am I? That's 7. That's 7.
I'm just mad that ever since we started looking at this list, you came for every single Celtic on this list.
Man, because some of them Celtics, man.
Nah, he
you
didn't
be
get to Paul Pierce yet. He didn't get the call.
yeah, Paul Pierce. Oh man, I got a whole bunch of small forwards better than him.
All right, we moving on. No, we moving on. We ain't doing this right now.
Shoot, they probably some on this list too. I didn't even name on this list. Or like I know, like I didn't name them on this list, but you get my point. But I guess I can't get to I can't get to 10, but I got to a good 7. But like Kevin McHale made All NBA first team in '84, like that's cool. But, you know, you be like, there's some cats better than him. Yeah. I'm trying to think. That power forward position, like it just evolved. Like, you know, that's just my point. Like it just evolved past like post moves, man. You can't just be on the block doing post moves, man. You gotta get a jumper. You gotta shoot the 3. You gotta do what you gotta do. So that's just my point on that.
All right. Kind of that wraps up pretty much the NBA 75 list. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Nah.
Had they ranked them, which apparently if there's a tie, means they could have ranked them, it would have been a whole lot worse. I'm just saying, if they had them voting in, let's say LeBron finished outside the top 5.
Sure.
If they ranked them, I want that MVP release. Like I need everyone that voted on their list. Just
Somebody has it.
Nah, you don't want that because then it'll devolve and then people just go into women's DMs like, you don't know basketball. And it'd be like, bro, you have some outrageous takes. Like, quit. Like, what was that? Maria Taylor one time didn't vote for AD on All NBA first team. Even though that was crazy, like people were just coming after her because she was a woman.
I'm just saying, I want to know who's number 75. We got some interesting things in the league. We have the first, I guess, slate of games. We opened up on Tuesday with Bucks and Nets. Bucks kicking everybody's ass. And then we had Lakers, the first look at the new Lakers. I believe it was Wednesday night. We had Knicks fans overreacting to a season opening win, which I don't think they're used to. It hasn't happened since Patrick Ewing. But we're there again. And now tonight we have a very interesting game with the Suns and the Lakers. And part of the reason why that's so interesting is because, well, let me read this tweet real quick. This comes from Jordan Schultz, who's an NBA reporter. The NBA is preparing for a massive story accusing Suns owner Robert Sarver of racism, sexism, and sexual harassment in a series of incidents, sources say. With enough evidence to support such claims, there's a real chance the league would forcibly remove Sarver.
So you gonna make me laugh, and this is serious, okay?
This is serious. But I'm laughing at the sheer nature that this is about to be a mess. This is going to be a complete and utter mess. Because they got away with that Donald Sterling thing because it was the playoffs. So there were other things for us to talk about once that was resolved. So this gonna go on all season.
See, that's why they shouldn't have banned Donald Sterling, because now you got to ban him.
Yeah.
All Donald Sterling said was, "I don't want Magic at the games." I'm just playing.
I mean, he was real. If he being real about it, he was really just hating because his girl liked Magic Johnson. That's essentially.
That was crazy. That was wild what he said.
You really think that girl got all? You think that girl got all dialed up to come sit next to you at the game? That's what she wanted to do.
Well, you know, the Donald Sterling thing, in hindsight, he had just built up enough to where it's like he had to go. But like what he said to begin with was like, all right, like you really gonna kick somebody out the league because they said they don't want black people at the games? Like,
to be honest,
come on, man.
To be honest with you, I don't think the black people want to be at the Clippers games after.
I was about to say, I think it's mutual. Like, like whatever. Because remember, homeboy from the Hawks sent that email.
Oh yeah, was it? No, it was. Was it Danny Manning? It was somebody. It was a former player.
It was.
Yeah, but it was a white dude.
Yeah.
Danny Manning's black.
I don't remember. No, this is really gonna make me think.
I'm sorry, Danny Manning. We didn't.
I'm about to look this up.
But no, anyway, but they didn't ban him for life.
No.
All he said in the privacy of his own home was, "Oh yeah, well, maybe I just don't like black people." Which
it wasn't a maybe. It wasn't a maybe.
It was pretty definitive.
Like it was pretty definitive, and we don't just have a couple pieces of evidence of your actions outside the league. We have decades of you saying you don't like black people outside of the league.
Yeah, I understand that, but like, why didn't you? So housing discrimination versus I'm talking to my girlfriend about how I don't like Negroes, and the NBA was like, you know what? This is worse. Like, that's my point. I was like, and then the fucking NAACP gave him an award, like, of that chapter. Like, what? You know, Donald Sterling, man, come on. That whole thing was crazy. And then we're not gonna act like that wasn't Jerry Buss's boy. Okay. Never mind. We're not gonna go there. Okay.
I mean, he's not gonna be. I forget. Was Stephen Ross that was out here wilding with Trump?
Yep.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
No. The reason why I'm bringing this out because I thought it was hilarious that he got caught out here and was a member of a scholarship that I will not name because I like when they give me free stuff. They gave him an award, and that award is named after a famous black baseball player who would not have liked Stephen Ross at all. So there's a history of us giving white people these awards when.
That's my point. Like, okay, yeah, do I think Donald Sterling should own a basketball team? No, but like, are we really gonna act like he the only one that think that way? Come on, man. Like, John Gruden not gonna get banned from the NFL for life.
I mean, he ain't got.
What's the difference? In fact, like the NBA just said, "Now housing discrimination, that's cool. We do that every day. You just messing up the money." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. NBA, bro. David Stern wouldn't have banned him.
I was gonna say, I think part of the difference is one of them didn't have equality on the back of a jersey like 2 years ago.
That's true.
They have Black Lives Matter on the court. On the
Yeah,
court.
the NFL sang the Negro National Anthem. What now?
I'm just saying, when you're going to be outward with it, the reason why David Stern was able to get away with a lot of stuff, one, because it was a different time, and two, David Stern wasn't out here coming out here preaching equality. He was about getting his money, and he made it very clear he was about here getting his money.
David Stern put them niggas in suits and ties. Oh my God, that's crazy.
David Stern was like, wow.
David Stern racist. We're not gonna go there today.
And
you think David Stern up there? Nah, I'm not gonna say that. You might have to cut this out, but I'm gonna say that. You think David Stern out there in Reagan heaven? Like off the Boondocks? With Uncle Ruckus and them?
Moving on. Last episode, we talked a little bit about Ben Simmons toward the end, and we have a little bit of update about Ben Simmons. This comes from Sham Charania of The Athletic. Ben Simmons spoke to Doc Rivers, Joel Embiid, and the entire 76ers team today and accepted everyone needs to take responsibility, including himself. But Simmons informed them all that he is not mentally ready to play yet and needs time. My question to you is, do you believe that Ben Simmons will play for the 76ers again?
I want to say no, but that statement Daryl Morey put out talking about we're willing to wait 4 years to figure this out makes me.
That was so fucking funny. I'm sorry. Because it was just like, I don't know if you ever seen the meme of Diddy when he's on The Voice and the guy is looking at him and he's looking directly right back at him.
Right.
It's like you gonna blink? Because I'm not blinking. I'm not going up. I'm sorry.
Daryl Morey is that Denzel Washington. I'm from around the way. I'm coming out with something.
Oh man, I want to say no, but eventually he's gonna be out there. Now, what he does, I don't know. Maybe he goes in for like a minute, waves high, and then goes right back out and gets his paycheck. I don't. But eventually, I don't know, man.
I just want to hear the apology, because the way Shams position this, the part that got me, and accepted everyone needs to take responsibility, including himself. When you say everyone needs to take responsibility, that means you're starting off from a point that everybody else is also wrong as I am. And that is where he's starting at. And as I've gotten older, I've realized that when you start with, well, we were both wilding, but I also want to apologize, that is where you get people fucked up, because people don't want to hear that they're wrong. Starting off an apology with "you were wrong too" never goes as well as you think it's going to go, even if the other person was in fact wrong.
Ben Simmons, man. I think he gonna pull a Naomi Osaka. Like I'm not trying to make light of the Naomi Osaka situation, but he gonna stop playing basketball, end up at the Met Gala, and we're gonna be like, oh, that's what he doing.
Ain't nobody inviting Ben Simmons to no fucking Met Gala. The difference between Ben Simmons and Naomi Osaka is that people around tennis actually like Naomi Osaka.
Yeah.
I don't know that many people out here. The only person I saw out here vouching for Ben Simmons is Tobias Harris. And
they're making us light skins look bad. Like I can't vouch for Ben Simmons, man. That dude acting crazy. Cause he acting like Antonio Brown.
hey, I'm not.
No, y'all not co-signing that? Okay.
I'm just saying the stuff that was surrounding Antonio Brown was a little bit deeper than him
I
not
guess
showing.
his coach was a racist.
His coach was a racist. We talked about this off camera. He went around, he fucked up his own money. Because whether you're racist or not, if I'm owed upwards of $10 million, I'm getting my $10 million. But I got to show up to prep. He didn't even have to stay with the team. He just had to make it past a certain date, and he would have got the money. I don't.
So what y'all saying is, if he wants to leave, he's got to call Mike D'Antoni a cracker.
Hey,
man,
will be more effective if he said Mike D'Antoni said light skin. He said something bad about light skins.
You mean Daryl Morey?
Oh, Daryl Morey. Yeah, I don't know why.
That's racist as hell. You just
Nah, they were on the same organ. Come on now,
bro.
Doc Rivers got to say something negative about light skins.
Oh.
Nah, here's what he got to do though. He got to make fun of Doc Rivers' hairline, and then he to go. And Doc be like, "We got to get this nigga up out of here, bro."
I just want to know.
Doc Rivers. You think Doc Rivers' head be burning after they? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like after they cut his hair.
Oh my god!
They do the. Him and Chris Paul got that same one. You know what I'm saying? They got the fade all around, but a hairline. You know what I'm saying? He bald, but he got a hairline. So when
you mean like what LeBron James would look like if he actually came out and lived his truth?
Man, but now his head gotta be burning after they do the alcohol.
But last thing before we take a quick break, we gotta through all the negative news about people getting taken off 75 lists. Robert Sarver out here being a nasty man. Ben Simmons, if he's really going through a mental health struggle, I pray for him. I hope he gets better if that's what he's truly going through. I hope he's also able to sell his house because his house is nasty. His house look like one of those like boutique hotels they try to sell you on that actually just doesn't look good. Like you got graffiti all in the bathrooms. It's
nah. See, Ryan, I'm gonna stop you right there because we're not gonna let Ben Simmons mental health his way out of this. Okay,
he may be going through mental health struggle.
I'm not saying he's not, but that don't mean he's not acting crazy. You can't be wilding and then be like, I mean, both things can be true. Yes, you can be wilding and also have mental health issues, right? And sometimes they correlate. But we can't be like, you right. You right. My bad. Okay.
I mean,
you can't like smack somebody and be like, I got mental health issues. Like, what? Like, what?
I should not be laughing at this. What I will say about Ben Simmons, I hope he's able to sell that house of his. I don't know why you bought a $5 million house on the rookie contract in a place you don't really want to be. But it's what it is. But I was getting to the positive news. The NBA is last season we saw them kind of take a step towards collaborating with different artists, visual artists at different historically Black colleges and universities across the country to produce logos, signage, and different things for the NBA All-Star Game. Yesterday, they announced that they will be hosting their first ever HBCU Classic on I believe it's the Friday before the All-Star Game, right before the dunk contest and stuff like that on Saturday. It will feature Howard University and Morgan State University. They will be playing at Cleveland State on February 19th. But yeah, I don't know if that's.
I never knew Cleveland State was a HBCU.
No, they're just playing there. They don't.
Oh, okay.
Because the All-Star game's in Cleveland.
Oh, word. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's really about the colleges.
So I don't know if that means that they're getting rid of the other Friday night activities, because I actually kind of enjoy. I'm one of the few people that enjoy watching the celebrity game, see people do wild stuff. And I don't know, is it? Yeah, it's the USA versus the World game or whatever the hell that is. But yeah, I don't know if that's going to be added to it, but that is some good news on what is rather a interesting day in the NBA.
Speaking of HBO, sorry.
No, you can go.
I was gonna say, speaking of HBCUs, you hear Grambling is gonna play the Raiders game?
Wait, what?
The Grambling State band is gonna play the Raiders game?
Totally was not done for a certain reason, but yeah.
Did y'all hear that?
I did.
Right?
See, this is gonna get my mind going in a place I did not want to go. I was trying, because we were off during the John Gruden thing, I did not want to go down this route.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't let that slide.
I need just 90. I don't understand. Why are y'all trying to disrespect people and get people out here doing wild stuff for no reason? Last week we had the mess that was a Sean Taylor memorial, whatever the hell they was doing up there.
Nah, that was some bullshit.
Wild, disrespectful. Now you couldn't, dog. You pulled the HBCU from across the country. You didn't go to Texas. You didn't get in near. You just look at you like, what HBCU you know? Oh, he went to Grambling. Can you call your friends at Grambling and get them to pull the band? That's what it sounds like Mark Davis asked them to do. Like, who stayed? Who stayed?
It looked like he It looked like he went to the undefeated and looked at them power rankings and was like,
"Oh God!"
Like Mark Davis looked at the undefeated, went to them power rankings, and was like, "Let's see my car."
I'm just saying, I need NFL franchises to deal with this John Gruden thing and these emails head on. Either put it head on or ignore it like you do literally everything else, including Deshaun Watson. Just ignore it.
That's Sean
I
Taylor
ain't ignoring Deshaun Watson, but that's another thing.
That Sean Taylor thing was bullshit, man.
Yeah.
And I say that as like a Chiefs fan, like that was crazy what Jackson Mahomes did. And
Mahomes out there dancing. Daniel Snyder up to meet the family in a hoodie and some sweats, not even coming fully prepared. And the fact that they announced it, they had planned to do this for a while, but they decided to announce it right after the John Gruden thing. And
I don't believe that. I don't believe they planned to do it for a while because he died in what, 04? What was that, 06?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
He got killed in 06. It's 2021. It's been 15 years. I think if they were going to do that, they would have been and done it. And I'm not saying that like to argue with you, Ryan. I understand they plan to do it like as in terms of like doing it this year, but I think once the heat got dropped on them, they're like, oh, okay, Sean Taylor, and you know, that's just ridiculous. That one's crazy, but I think it's equally crazy to have Grambling State play halftime and you in Nevada.
That's like where is Grambling? I'm about to look. Where is Grambling?
Grambling State's in Louisiana.
No, I know where it is. They I'm sure the college, the actual school they go to, has a football game this week. And
right. Yeah.
Like,
right.
Oh, they're off this week. That's fine.
Okay.
See if I'm just making stuff up. See what they are in the power rankings. If they number one, I'm gonna laugh. Let me go see the band power rankings.
I'm dead.
Oh man. Dang. Amari Stoudemire has 5 All NBAs, by the way. He could have been on the list. I'm sorry, we're not doing that.
These rankings came out yesterday.
Where's Grambling State?
Grambling State. Oh, they're not in the top 10.
Oh. No.
See, now I feel like they just pulled a name out of a hat.
That right. I would have assumed they would have like saw the article and like that's what I assumed. But
actually, let me. Okay, I just want to double check. Yeah, they weren't on the first rankings either.
Yo, that's wow, dang. I don't know much about HBCU, man.
If I went and I looked at managers or personal assistants to Mark Davis, I'm sure I would find a Grambling grad. I'm sure.
So? You
I'm
think
sure
so?
I find one.
Well, I mean, hey, let's get the Grambling band.
Well, I'm looking at it. The first number one team in the country in terms of the band is North Carolina.
I was A&T, okay.
North Carolina A&T, Florida A&M, Jackson State, Norfolk State, Bethune-Cookman, Southern Tennessee State. Wow. North Carolina Central, Arkansas. I always forget their
Palm Bluff.
Yeah, and Prairie View.
Palm Bluff is like number 6 or whatever. But no, I mean that's crazy though. Like jokes aside, that's kind of crazy. But no, I mean, like Ben Simmons, John Gruden, all that stuff, Sarver, all that stuff is like it's all connected somehow. I mean, and how we view like Black people. Like Ben Simmons, I mean, just the whole mental health stuff, and then like white authority figures and just being able to, all seriousness, that's kind of nuts, man.
So we'll take a quick break and finish off. I know we talked about doing the top 15 NBA players of all time. We'll come back, run through that, and send y'all on your way for a not Halloween weekend, but the weekend before Halloween, which is also a weekend where people decide adults, that's adult Christmas, where adults like to wild out in these streets. We'll be back quick after this message and ad from Anchor.